So, all about the NBA playoffs. So these past weeks has just been playoff finals, first round, games. I think it's first round, I believe, right?
Yep. They just
Yeah,
I think last night was the last games of the first round.
yeah. So they just finished off the first rounds for the playoffs, and yeah, there's just been some crazy fans out there, man. Like I think it was not, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday I think it was maybe Wednesday, and there was just like a fan that just ran on the court, like right on the court, and I remember some players just tweeted out saying like, "Man, these fans are out of control, man. Like they need to like take it a step down." And then like there's oh yeah, then like the Russell Wilson got popcorn thrown at him when he got injured. There was that.
Someone got a
There
drink dropped on them.
yeah, then there was a water bottle thrown at Kyrie, but I think he deserves it because he's an idiot sometimes. But anyway, if that's not the point. I'm just saying like fans are getting away with a lot of stuff, man. I think it's because it's we've all been bunkered in for the whole year, and it's like we're taking out aggression on the actual person and the actual athletes now instead of like the televisions.
Dude, I totally agree. I think the people are just they've been, kept inside way too long, and that's what happens when you cage an animal. You gotta you gotta. I want free range chickens. I don't want caged. This is what happens when you have caged chickens that you let loose. They just start trying to kill everything. Um, Honestly, I think it's awesome. I don't care. I mean, the NBA is pretty boring as it is. Like nobody watches the regular season games, like outside of like, unless you're like a fan of one team,
Yeah, then you'll watch them.
or you have season tickets. Like you're not going to be watching these games like
Yep.
on the regular season at all. Um, I for that for that reason, it's kind of taken a dive in terms of outside of like just the over the top political messaging last year. I think that the fans are just like,
Had
whatever.
enough with it.
We'll care about playoffs, and it's been great to watch. I honestly have not watched any of the. I've not watched a full NBA game. I'll watch the highlights and stuff,
Yeah.
but I've been enjoying the heck out of these fans throwing a fit over absolutely nothing. I think it's not interesting. It's like the XFL. Like
Yeah.
it adds a
Yeah.
certain randomness to every game that like keeps things interesting. I mean, you can only watch these guys, go on the court and do the same thing night after night without it getting a little boring. So, because they play so many games in a year, and even in the playoffs, they're playing up to 7 games a round. It's nice to see some kind of craziness happen, which I thoroughly enjoy. These guys get paid millions of dollars. They can think they can handle it.
Yeah.
So.
Especially like last year, they were like in a dome the entire time too. So it's like they play in one court and just leave it there. And now they travel back and forth between other like home team stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I agree with you on that. Is the fact that I don't care much for basketball, but when it's like playoffs, I'm like, okay, sure, I'll watch it because it's the season's
It's
about
like
to
the
wrap
only
up.
sport on right now. Like
Yeah.
unless I'm gonna watch like I guess you have I think the NHL playoffs are happening right now. Like I would almost rather watch NHL playoffs, which I never watch hockey, but I don't know. I'd rather watch the NBA at this point over hockey just because of some of the stuff that's going on. And then you have baseball. I think baseball's going on right now too, and I could not care less.
It's the women's softball tournament. I remember I watched it live. It was a underdog team. They beat the number one team in the first round, then they beat another ranked team in the second round. So I think they're in the third round, and they're the only unranked team. And I remember I watched
Hmm.
the first game live. And I just like I was just browsing through the channels, and then it was like eighth inning. I'm like, oh sure, it's about to end, and then I just saw it live. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I was like, okay, I'll flip it to whatever's next. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I don't know. It's great to see. Like even in the man, I'm drawing a total blank on the guy's name. One of the basically the key player for Atlanta. Like I think they were playing Philly or Brooklyn. I think it was Philly they were playing, and they were just the fans were like "F him," like yelling it. The entire whole stadium was yelling it. I think they were throwing stuff at him too.
it
It was
must
just
have.
crazy.
I
Like
would
all these
say,
rival. It's crazy how like the West has totally shifted to the East in terms like traditionally in like the last 30 years of basketball. Like the West has pretty much dominated every team. I mean, not the last 30. I'd say the last 20 years because you had like the Michael Jordan era with Chicago, but
Yeah.
in the Bad Boys in the early 90s and stuff. So and then Boston before that, but like starting in 2000 or so, once MJ retired, it was basically all West. Like the West has always been the best, and now it seems like it's been kind of thrown on its head.
And now it's
Where
like
you have
more
like
East
Philly
now.
and Brooklyn, and yeah, I mean the East is like way, way, way better. I can't see. I mean, again, you have like Milwaukee and stuff, so there's just so many good teams on the East, so many good players on the East. It's kind of cool to see that where these teams that have totally sucked, like the
Like the
Phoenix Suns,
Knicks.
and we
Like the
go to
Knicks too.
like the Knicks being in there. I mean, it's awesome to see the Phoenix freaking Suns knock out
Yeah.
LeBron. Like, and that
Yeah.
goes into the next topic.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have been more excited.
I was happy
Um,
when that happened.
and his, I haven't watched it as closely in prior years than I did this year. That particular series, it's like I don't know if you watched. I think it was Game 5 because it went to. I think there was 4-2. It went to 6 games, and the fifth game they were getting blown out by like 20 points. 5 minutes left. LeBron just leaves the floor.
Oh yeah, I
Just
didn't
leaves
I
the
didn't watch
floor.
it live, but I saw like the headlines on ESPN where it's saying, "Oh, LeBron left in
And
like
then,
5 minutes."
ESPN and all those guys, Stephen A, they all like defend him, like because it's LeBron and he's
Yeah,
like
it's
the
LeBron
poster child for
James.
like nobody gives him crap for that. Like, yeah, that's a great leader. Just like abandon your team at the end when like you still, it's not like you're losing the series either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're down one game at that point, and
Yep.
it's like, well, good luck coming back from that. Like, yeah, anybody who watched that who thought they were going to win the next game, like you're crazy. LeBron won't be in LA. He'll either retire or he won't be in LA next summer or next season.
Or another season. I think he has one more season with LA, I believe.
So
I
probably
know.
Anthony Davis will be gone then. There's
Yeah.
no way I would stay playing with LeBron if that's the way he's going to act, like an
Yeah,
absolute
he's
child.
always been acting like that for his whole career, man. Every time he loses, he'll do some bullshit like that, and that's why I can't
Yeah, it's
stand
the
that
air
guy.
conditioning in San Antonio. It's the air conditioning
The
in
air
San Antonio
conditioning,
all
and
over
then
again.
he has to be lifted up because he had like a fucking groin injury or some.
Yeah, didn't he get injured or something, or
Yeah,
got hurt in one of his games?
he had to be carried off, and I remember like some meme.
Carried off like a
He,
freaking.
yeah, and
I
he's
hate. I
like,
can't stand LeBron.
yeah. I mean, there's like okay, I will say this is that like outside of basketball, he does great things, but as a player, I can't stand him because he's like you said a fucking child, and when he if nothing goes his way, he'll bitch,
Yeah, and
and
and then the thing that pisses me off is like, yeah, we all acknowledge he's a great basketball player, but
yeah,
like he complains and then the refs give in to him and it's like and then you look at ESPN and like I said, I think Stephen A and some of the other guys, probably not so much the guys on TNT, Kenny and all the guys at Shaq and
those
Charles,
guys keep it
whatever.
real.
They are 100%
They
off. Like
yeah
that's the best. That's one of the best
those
talk shows
yeah
on
I
TV. Like I watch that more than I watch basketball games. But
yep
there's you watch ESPN and they just like cover for him, and there's no excuse. Like you're supposed to be the leader of the team. You're like the best. You're still supposed to be one of the best players in the league, like top five probably.
mm-hmm
Um, and you walk out on your team like that when you basically are the reason why most of the players that are in LA are in LA because you're the one who's built this team.
yeah
I know Anthony Davis got injured at one point. I don't know if he came back in
he
Game
never came
Six,
back.
but you know, uh, I'm sorry, but you can't just create a superstar team in every city that you go to and expect to win every single game. And then, you know, it's just frustrating to see because it's LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like I could never imagine Kobe Bryant doing this kind of thing,
No,
or
Kobe.
especially Michael Jordan. There's no way Michael
No,
Jordan would do
more
this.
no. I mean, I if you saw like the Last Dance, like I really love like his mentality and everything. I could imagine
Mhm.
like I would say like 20 years from now, LeBron will make some kind of stupid ass documentary trying to compare him
Yeah.
to MJ, and all you'll see is players like behind closed doors. Man, fuck this guy. He's such a fucking crybaby, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. As long as like The Last Dance is produced by MJ, so I'm sure he's going to point himself in pretty much the most perfect light that you can.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, if it's by LeBron, like, there's no way anybody's going to. It's not going to be as good. Like,
No,
you
it's
could come out with one for Kobe in its
oh
heartbeat,
no.
and I'd be on
Kobe
it. But there's
would
no
be 100
way.
times better.
But Yeah, because that'd be awesome because you could have Shaq and he's still alive, so you could have
Yeah.
Shaq in there and stuff, and you could even grip. I'm sure there's interviews and you could drum up some stuff from Kobe's early days, like even when he was playing against Michael. But yeah, man, I don't know. The playoffs, like I said, it's I can I like the craziness of what's going on with the fans, to a certain extent. Obviously, don't hurt the players, but
Oh,
like
it'd be it'd
yell
be
at them all you want. I
it'd
mean,
be the
that's what
Palace
you pay your
brawl all over again.
I mean, the way the NBA's handled their season tickets, and I'm pretty sure this is how all of them have handled that they have limited capacity. So you're looking at double price seats. Like our office has got Pacers tickets,
Uh
our
huh.
season tickets, and they basically didn't give out season tickets this year, but you could get for your first dibs on tickets, and the tickets were insanely priced.
Sheesh.
And then you couldn't get to like the suite, like our season tickets have suite access,
Mm-hmm.
and like the suite is closed. So it's like, all right, you've closed down for a year first. Okay, you close down for COVID, whatever.
Yeah.
Then you come back at limited capacity and you charge double, and then you don't let us like do the thing we want to do. And we're the ones paying these guys bills.
Yep.
That's what's frustrating. And I think that goes into the whole like the common guy that's watching basketball doesn't want to hear a lot of the political messaging. And maybe that's part of it too. I think um they're just angry and want to take it out on the players. In a lot of ways, I don't blame them. I mean, I don't want to hear all this crap about injustice when I'm watching a basketball game. It's like I watch basketball and sports to escape that thing. Like I play video games to escape reality. I don't
I
jump
don't.
into video games to basically take a history lesson. That's the last thing I want to do.
Unless you see some kind of banner on top of it, you know.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming. Actually, overwhelming isn't the right word. It's just it hits you over the head way too much. Like it's
Yeah.
like a good Oscar movie. Like it's like it's you can compare it to a good Oscar movie. That's
That you
I,
never
I
heard
shouldn't I
of.
shouldn't say a good when I say good Oscar movie. I put it in quotes.
Yeah.
It's like an Oscar movie that is supposed to be the best movie in the year, and all it does is hit you over with political messaging the entire time. And the normal everyday guy is just like, that's not what I want. That's why I thought Green Book was really good. I mean, if you want, it's totally off topic, but Green Book was great
Yeah. No. Green Book is
because
very great.
there's plenty of political messaging in there, but it's really centered around these two guys that are two total opposites that come together and they're friends,
Yep.
and that's why the whole movie's good. And it goes in like political messaging versus like just slamming you over the head with like I never want to listen to somebody that's just if you're
Yeah.
protesting on the corner, like that's the last person I'm going to listen to. I mean, I'm not going to listen to that person. It's the same thing with like a basketball player who is yelling political things at us all the time. Like it's one thing if someone asks you on an interview, like, "Hey, what do you think about this? This shooting or whatever," and you give your opinion, but it's another thing to just hammer the audience with it. I do think like between locking people up indoors all year and then that crap. That's really what's killed the NBA. And I wonder how their viewership is these playoffs because I don't think I highly doubt they're
They're
much better if
probably,
anything.
well, I would say maybe even lower now, since now we're getting everyone back outside, in reality now. So there's not like that many people on the screens watching the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can. I'd rather be outside, man. I don't know. It's one of the last things I'd want to watch. I mean, I like watching the playoffs. I'll probably watch some of the divisional games. Like the
Yeah.
third and fourth game, and then
Then
I'll
then the
watch
finals will
the
be
last
there when
game.
I watch it. Whenever the finals are on, I'm like, okay, if it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I
Type of
mean,
thing.
I'll watch some of the finals, but I'm not going out of my way to watch every game.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, did you hear about what happened? And it's like, oh, well, I'll watch the highlights. So I watch a lot of that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's been nice. It's been funny to see all this the way they're covering some of these fans because they are out of control. Like that's true 100%. But it is entertaining. I mean, it's like a guy running across the field naked during the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but it is pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
So.
Or I would say I was just mentioning too, it would be like the Palace Brawl all over again. At least it doesn't go with that.
Yeah, the Malice and the Palace, maybe.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I couldn't believe it. I was kind of like, yo, that's Detroit. That's
Yeah,
Detroit.
that's Detroit, and I think it wasn't at the
It was the
Pacers too.
Pacers too. Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
Pacers. It
yeah.
was the Pacers.
Indianapolis. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that kind of went good with that kind of what we thought. I think we're kind of both agreeing on both of those topics, where it's just kind of like how things are right now. We're just kind of like, yeah, we're kind of over it.
Do you think they plant? Do you think they plant these kind of crazed fans in the audience? Because sometimes I see this stuff and it's like, who has the balls to like throw a who is like I could see myself being drunk at a game and like acting a fool, but like
I
that,
wouldn't.
like
I
I'm
wouldn't. I wouldn't
like
throw anything.
throw a pop at a player. Like
Yeah.
Jesus, I feel like that maybe the NBA is just planting these crazy people at like I'll give you tickets and $500. Just throw this at so and so at halftime
Yeah.
and see what happens. Like I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe it's more like WWE than we think.
Yeah, they all scripted and everything. I remember the guy with the guy who threw the water bottle was acting all like, "Oh, I didn't do it," and he had the who's the goat guy for the Celtics, the bald black guy. He's very tall. Was it
Celtics?
Yeah, Celtics, Boston Celtics. The guy who was he was on Adam Sandler Diamond movie. Oh my god, now it's gonna bug the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah. I know he doesn't play.
No, he had his jersey on, like the guy who got caught with the
Oh,
water
okay.
bottle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Center. Hall of Fame. It's gonna piss me off. It starts with the G.
Yeah, his last name starts with a G.
The Boston Celtics. I want to say it was Garrison, but it's not Garrison. The Big Three. Big Three. That's what it is. The Big Three. It was Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett. Yeah, it was Kevin Garnett. And I was kind of like, it's gonna bug the hell out of me if I don't figure it out. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I hear you.
He had his jersey on there, and he's all like, I'm part of your team. I'm part of I just thought it was pretty funny just to point that out. I was kind of he's wearing a Boston Celtic dude, like a Boston jersey on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.